Hey, good morning, team. Welcome to week 4 of Principles of Supervision OS 180. It is a rainy Saturday morning, and anyways, I hope you're catching up on your readings and discussion boards from week 3. So this week, okay, we're going to be talking about problem employees. Uh, you know, how to deal with conflict, how to address difficult situations with employees that you will have to do as a supervisor. We always talk about conflict, and no matter what, there's going to be conflict. Conflict just is. It's a disagreement. That's all conflict is, right? Two opposing interests. And so, anyways, this week we do have a little bit of work to do this week. We're going to be reading chapters 9 and 10. I'm looking at my notes right here. And we have 2 discussion boards to do. We have a short assignment paper. Well, I say short, but it's about 4 pages. And then we are going to build a resume cover letter. Now, one of the initiatives with Goodwin College is that when you complete your program, you will have, for instance, a resume written, cover letters, references. You will have perhaps a portfolio, and you will be ready for the job market. And that's a very honorable goal, right? So anyway, last week the discussion boards was great. Lots of good discussion. I think a lot of people got some stuff out of Daniel Pink's video on motivation, and it makes a lot of sense, right? We are motivated internally and externally, uh, and we can go beyond carrots and sticks, right? Incentives when we have reached a certain financial point or a financial safety net in our life. For instance, and I'll post a picture of this along with this video. If you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right, it's a pyramid of how we progress and fulfill our needs. And the first 2 tiers, if you would, are psychological and safety. This means as long as our financial and housing and clothing and food needs are met, then we can move up to the higher needs, which could be love, which are love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. And I think we see that with a lot of the internal motivation, if you will. That once our safety is met, our house is good, our financial needs are good, we're saving where we're supposed to be, our long-term goals are being acquired, then we start exploring into other things that interest us to feel this self-esteem. Perhaps you'll volunteer at a center, or you start giving back by, I don't know, writing for Wikipedia or doing Unix programming that we were talking about. This is that self actualization and that esteem building that we do. So, anyways, I thought we had some really good discussions in there, and I really appreciated some of the equal opportunity research that got done. Let me take a sip of water here. Thanks. So on to this week, right? Dealing with problem employees. There's one of the discussion boards is going to address a video that's posted on awkward employee reviews, and it's a kind of a humorous video in my mind. But it comes from Mr. Kerry Patterson's company called Crucial Conversations. Now that's a really good book if you get a chance to see it. Read it. Crucial Conversations, and in there he talks about how we should address a conflict. And so, for instance, let's use a scenario: an employee comes in late, 15 minutes. He's supposed to be there at 8 o'clock by 8, and he's showing up at 8:15. Right. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to confront the employee right away with their behavior. You want to address the standard, and I mean that by don't go up to an employee and say, "Hey, It's 8:15. Where have you been? What's the employee gonna do? Right away, they're defensive. Right away, they in their mind they're making up an excuse. So address the standard first and say, Tom, we're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. And now we notice you've been coming in at 8:15. So now they're not so defensive. And now, according to Mr. Patterson, there's really four paths that this conversation can go. Now, remember KSH, excuse me, that we've talked about, right? So one of the paths is knowledge. So the employee can come back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was supposed to be here at 8:30. I thought I was 15 minutes early." That's a knowledge issue. So as a supervisor, you would address the standard. Nope, sorry, Tom, you're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, let's come make it in at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to follow up. Just make sure that we're on the right track, right? Because you always want to follow up. So that's a knowledge issue, right? The next one is skills or ability. So the employee could say, when you say, "Hey, it's and notice it's 8:15," and he says, or she could say, "Well, sorry, there's this gate guard, and it wouldn't accept my card, my ID card. I couldn't get into the building. I'm really sorry. I've tried, and it's been happening for the last couple of days." Well, now, once again, as a supervisor, you're going to want to follow up. So now this is going to take some more time from you. So you're going to have, say, "Well, let's go check out about your ID card, see if it's not reading right at the door, and see if we can rectify this problem." Right? So once again, follow up and let the employee know that you're going to be checking back in on them. The other one is attitude or willingness. So, for instance, you could say, "We're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, and we've noticed you've been showing up at 8:15." The employee could say, "Oh, sorry, boss. I had a real late night playing Halo in the last couple of days. I just can't make it out the door." Well, that's a willingness issue. And anyways, you're going to have to explain the standards and explain what will happen to the employee if they do not meet the standard. Understand your video gaming life is very important, but you're going to have to prioritize whether it's your gaming life or your job. We're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, and being here at 8:15 is not acceptable. Therefore, I will follow up with you. And if it happens again, we could counsel you officially and seek, you may have to seek another place of employment. So those are the top three: knowledge, ability, and willingness or attitude. The last four is an emergent issue. And this is going to take almost all of your time. And so you could say, "Hey, the standard is for us to be here at 8 o'clock, and notice you've been showing up at 8:15. Can you explain?" Employee could say, "Sorry, boss, my car got repoed. My wife left, and you cleaned out the bank account, so I'm on public transportation in the bus." So then it's like, "Whoa, hold on. Now you're going to be spending your day helping this employee. It's not their fault. Perhaps they're doing a good job overall. They just have something serious going on. Refer them to outside resources. Perhaps if you, as a supervisor, you could make that ethical judgment of standing back and giving some extra time for that employee to figure out their situation. And that's going to take a lot of your time. So anyways, these are the four paths that employees could take, right? A knowledge, a skill, willingness, or an emergent issue. And this is good to have in the back of your mind and to think out before you approach this difficult conversation. So if you could say, "Well, I think the employee is having a skills issue, so I'm going to prepare for that," because the best you can prepare for that. So that is a good tool to use. Uh, anyways, so kind of concludes this short 10-minute video. And like I said, some good conversations going on. And get done with your discussion boards by Sunday night at midnight. Like I said, I don't accept late discussion boards. We'll accept late assignments, but we will have points taken off on them. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me. Okay? Thanks. Dave out.